Why throw away an old battery when you can turn it into something every handyman needs? Today I'm going to show you step by step how to take a dead battery, a small copper tube, a piece of wood and a few simple wires and turn them into a soldering pen that can melt solder and join metal in minutes. It's simple, it's affordable, and it's something every handyman will appreciate. Start by carefully peeling off the outer shell of the battery. A sturdy utility knife or a pair of pliers works just fine. Take your time here and don't force it. Steady hands make the job easier and safer. Once the outer layer is removed, we'll make the process smoother by placing the battery into a drill. Spinning it gently allows us to cut into the metal casing without too much struggle. With the battery spinning, use a small hacksaw or a metal file to carefully cut through the casing. You don't need to go too deep, just enough to weaken the shell. Once that's done, stop the drill, pull the battery out, and grab a pair of needle nose pliers. Now with a firm grip, pull out the graphite rod from the center. This is the hidden treasure we've been after. But we're not stopping there. Place the graphite rod back into the drill and let it spin. Using a piece of fine sandpaper, carefully shape one end of the rod. By the way, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. I love seeing how far these projects travel. Round it off, smooth it out, and watch as it transforms into a neat, sharp tip perfect for soldering. Stay tuned until the final test, because I'll show you how this tool can handle a real repair job, the kind of fix every family man runs into sooner or later. For the handle, grab a simple round wooden stick, a leftover dowel, or even part of an old broom handle works fine. Cut a piece about 3 to 4 inches long, something that feels comfortable in your hand. Now take a drill with a bit slightly smaller than the piece you'll insert later, and carefully drill a straight hole down the center of one end. Keep it neat, and even this will become the base of our tool. Next, take a small copper tube about 4 inches long. Use a pipe cutter or a hacksaw to cut it cleanly to size. Once it's ready, smooth the edges with a file or sandpaper so there are no sharp burrs. Now gently insert the tube into the hole you drilled in the wooden handle. It should fit snugly. If it's a bit tight, tap it in carefully with pliers or a hammer. This copper tube will form the core of our soldering pen. Next, take a strong adhesive super glue or epoxy works well and apply a small amount around the hole in the wooden handle. Gently slide the copper tube into place. Hold it steady for a moment until the glue begins to set. This will make sure the tube is solidly anchored and won't shift when we start soldering later on. Once the tube is secure, it's time to prepare it for the graphite rod. Using a drill, make a small hole straight through the side of the copper tube. This hole will allow us to insert a screw and lock the graphite tightly in position. After drilling, don't forget to take a file and carefully smooth out the edges. Removing those burrs will keep the fit clean and prevent the screw from catching awkwardly. Finally, slide the graphite rod into the copper tube, line it up neatly, and fix it in place with a small screw through the hole you just drilled. Tighten it just enough to hold firm, but not so much that it cracks the graphite. At this point, you can bend the copper tube slightly to create a gentle curve. That little adjustment makes it much easier to maneuver the pen during soldering, giving you a more natural angle for precision work. With the handle and copper tube in place, it's time to bring our tool to life with wiring. Start with a length of insulated copper wire, nothing fancy, just a piece long enough to connect comfortably to your power source. On one end, strip about 1/2 inch of insulation to expose the copper strands. Twist them tightly so they stay firm and don't fray. Slide this end into a small alligator clip, then crimp it down with pliers. Don't forget to cover it with a rubber sleeve for safety. This keeps the connection insulated when you're working. Now move to the other end of the wire. Strip back about 2 inches. And wrap the bare copper firmly around the copper tube on your handle. Make sure it's snug so it won't loosen while in use. Finally, run the wire neatly along the wooden handle and secure it with electrical tape. This not only protects the connection, but also gives the tool a clean, finished look that feels solid in use. Now let's give our homemade soldering pen some power. For this build, a simple 12-volt DC adapter works perfectly. First, make sure the adapter is unplugged before you begin. Take the 2 alligator clips you prepared and connect them to the adapter's positive and negative leads. This homemade soldering pen works on a very simple idea. The graphite rod taken from an old battery is an excellent conductor of heat. When electricity flows through the tip, heats up fast, hot enough to weld wires and small metal pieces together. The wooden handle keeps it safe to hold, while the copper tube holds everything firmly in place. But the real value isn't only in how it works, it's in the creativity. It proves that with a little curiosity and some everyday scraps, you can build tools that actually get the job done. So take this as inspiration to keep experimenting, keep creating, and discover what else is possible. Double check that the clips are firmly in place so nothing slips during use. Once everything is secure, plug the adapter into a regular wall outlet. Within a few seconds, the copper tube and graphite tip will begin to heat up. You might notice a little smoke or a faint smell at first. That's normal as the materials settle in. Keep in mind, this is a low-voltage DIY tool great for quick fixes and small projects around the house. With the pen powered up and ready, it's time to put it to the test. Start with something simple like joining two copper wires. Hold them together. I'll press the heated graphite tip directly onto two copper wires, letting the heat fuse them together. After just a moment, the wires are bonded firmly. And to prove how strong it is, watch this, I'll pull on them hard. No movement, no break, the joint holds solid. That's the strength of this simple homemade soldering pen. Next, try something a little more challenging, two thin razor blades. Be careful here since the blades are sharp. Place them edge to edge, heat the spot with the soldering pen, and add just a touch of solder. Within seconds, the blades will fuse together, showing just how much heat this DIY tool can generate. And that's it. From an old battery and a few simple parts, we built a working soldering pen. It proves how creativity and a little hands-on effort can turn scraps into something truly useful. If you enjoyed this project, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss future builds. And share this video with friends who enjoy practical DIY hacks too.